It is July 21st, 2025. My name's Matt, shelling out the latest Bitcoin news, and I got a bomb to drop. A couple of them actually, so stick around. Breaking news that just came out. Trump media builds 2 billion Bitcoin hoard as cryptocurrency swells president's net worth. Conflict of interest anyone? Holy crap. Trump media, ironically, was born out of Meta or Facebook blocking him. I believe Google blocked him, and so did Twitter. And he was trying to communicate to the public. And basically they're saying, hey, you broke our terms of service, and they suspended his account. Well, what does he do? He goes out and creates his own media company. And then he buys a bunch of Bitcoin to have it as the underlying asset. And then he goes and does crypto laws, because last week was crypto week. He's literally signing the laws that are going to benefit him. Not just him, but, the crypto community. So, wow. Now, technically, he has passed Trump media down to Trump Jr. He's trying to distance himself that way, but come on. Come on. It borders the lines of questionability, but it's going to make him super rich. So, if you believe in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin skyrockets to the moon, guess what Trump media most likely would do as the 5th largest public treasury company now holding Bitcoin. Next up, MicroStrategy. They're still adding. He had another 750 billion Bitcoin last week. Michael, you're a crazy mojo. He just keeps buying and buying and buying. So, wow. Next up, ChatGPT. I want to play this little article. Now, there was a whale that I mentioned in my last video that sold $9.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. And I was trying to rack my brain as to any possible reason. I thought maybe somebody passed away, maybe it's a divorce, maybe they're buying a company. And then my brain was like, but it talked about quantum computing. And that to me was the first thing I saw where I'm like, ooh. So if you're unfamiliar with what quantum computing is, it's just insanely fast processing speeds beyond what we can even fathom right now. And we're not there yet. Now I tracked NVIDIA and several companies, and they talked about when they thought quantum computing would come online. And it was kind of like 5 to 10 years was kind of the consensus. Initially, the CEO of NVIDIA said, oh, it's so far out, don't worry about it. But the concern is if you have a computer that can eat through mathematical problems at a speed that is so much faster than anything we have right now, passwords as you know it are non-existent. That would eat right through it. The seed phrase to your crypto holdings won't protect it anymore. Well, guess what? This expert in the field of cryptology, cybersecurity, a veteran hacker, he basically said Bitcoin's quantum countdown has already begun. He basically shelling out the warning. Today he builds quantum resistant systems for decentralized networks and claims that the cryptographic functions of blockchains like Bitcoin and Ethereum are dangerously outdated. Though through Bitcoin and other blockchain developers often claim there's still plenty of time to adapt, the window may be closing fast, and he attributes a big part of that to AI. Efforts to implement quantum-resistant signatures are under the way, but it's not treated with the urgency that it really needs. And so that, to me, scares me a little bit, right? This is the first thing where I'm like, you know what? Do I want to be 100% in Bitcoin going forward? I'm not there yet. That's the direction I was migrating, but it really highlights diversification and being diversified. So, and ultimately, when you factor in real estate and other things that we are diversified. But I'm heavy into Bitcoin, and quantum computing, it's a threat. So, basically, it could arrive abruptly. State-sponsored actors and cyber criminal groups are already collecting encrypted blockchain data now, hoping to decrypt it once quantum hardware catches up. They've already begun some defenses like BIP360, which proposes quantum-resistant addresses, but we're not there yet. So I kind of stick to what I said yesterday, which was there's a lot of smart people looking at it. Hopefully they can solve it before it becomes a real issue. But it's a little scary when they're saying, this expert's saying, Well, it doesn't have the urgency that it actually deserves. Basically, this is probably the scariest part of this article, and I really encourage everyone to read this from the top to the bottom, especially if you own Bitcoin. Everyone's waiting for a countdown that won't come. You won't get a warning that a 10-year-old Bitcoin wallet has been cracked. You'll just see the funds moved, and no one will be able to prove how or whom. Holy shit. Yeah, we got that going. So where is Bitcoin right now? It's holding about 17,000. It has been for a few days. I still stick with a random price prediction that has no basis in reality, but just looking at the chart and what I see in patterns, just kind of how my mind thinks, I think mid-August we'll start taking another leg up and probably get to about 140. But nobody on YouTube could really tell you for certainty. This is just me and what I'm seeing with market adoption, with Treasury companies buying it up, with ETFs all in. But there could be some clearinghouse event with this trade stuff, right? The market right now is teetering on all-time highs. Well, let me talk about the VIX really quick. That is something I have not talked about in the past. So the VIX is a volatility index. It's a measurement of how much volatility we should expect in the stock market, and that translates to crypto as well. When you get into a volatile number, a higher number, then typically you move, say 1 or 2 or 3% in a day is the projected amount. Now let me look at, let's say, a 5-year historical average. Guess what this spike here is? Well, that's President Trump announcing the trade war stuff, and the VIX just spiked to the moon. Well, typically it does not stay there. It will revert back to a mean average. But I guess what I'm trying to highlight is right now, the low is about 13 and we're at 16.5. So we're nearing something that would be on the lower end of a mean average. And so I'm waiting for volatility to pick up, and normally when it starts, it's on the downward side because volatility is panic. Panic creates selling. Selling creates more selling. Then there's short selling or short covering. And we're not there yet, right? We're in the middle of earnings season. Most analysts I see are saying, well, hey, stocks are going to have good earnings. And they continue to. And that's what's ironic is the president keeps going after Jerome Powell when the companies are doing well, at least as far as an earnings standpoint. So there's a lot of things that play on each other, and the longer you do this, the more you see the patterns and how one thing affects another, and it's just like the Matrix. You start seeing the ones and zeros. So, but still bullish on Bitcoin, especially after seeing Trump media building up to a 2 billion Bitcoin herd. Not 2 billion Bitcoins, but $2 billion worth of Bitcoin. Wow. Wow. So more Bitcoin news tomorrow. Stay tuned. Have a good night.